Hi everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Rempe and I'm a personal success coach. And today what I want to offer is 5 quick tips that I use in my team building process whenever I'm in a leadership position. I've managed sales teams. I currently train on a corporate level for a particular company, as well as have my own coaching clientele that I work with. So my whole job is leadership. I'm always coaching and mentoring individuals and understanding the particular things that you need to do in a leadership position to be most effective in people's lives is imperative if you're in one of those positions. So, some of the quick things that I want to run through that I implement on a daily or weekly basis would be these tips. The first one is, we've always heard that famous quote, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And implement that with your team. Don't ask what your team can do for you, ask what you can do for your team. One thing that I strongly advocate in my leadership is focusing on what I bring to the table in terms of being in a leadership position. What can I offer my team so that their performance can elevate? What can I do to help them see how to elevate their performance? What can I do to better their lives? Because my philosophy is that when you better yourself, everything around you becomes better. So I implement that in how can I inspire those kinds of feelings and changes in my team members, and naturally performance is going to elevate. I don't focus on the numbers. I focus on their development. So, ask yourself, what can you bring to the table for your team, regardless of what you get in terms of your return on investment. It's going to come naturally. Your ROI is going to be an elevation in their performance on some level or another. Whether it's, your relationship with them, whether it's their actual sales performance or employment performance, business owners and managers of employees, you might just have a better relationship and their work ethic might increase and the positivity in the office might be better. That might be your return. But ultimately, ask what you can do for your team versus what they can do for you. And the thing is, if you can keep that focus, the energy will be reciprocated and you'll get the return that you're looking for. The next point I want to make is that you need to meet with each of your team members when you arrive to work and before you leave or before they leave, depending on where your shifts overlap and things like that. What this does is it establishes accountability, yes, but what it does is it shows that you're taking time out of your day to care for each of these individuals. Now, some of you might have big teams, some of you might have a small team, but if you can designate time, even just to run by their office and say, hey, how's it going? How are you doing this morning? Everything okay? What can I do for you? You know what I mean? That type of attitude, it only takes seconds. You can go through, spend the first little bit, kind of surveying your office or your team and asking, what can I bring to the table? What can I do for you today? They're going to really like you as a boss or a manager or the business owner or whoever you are. And they're going to be more willing to do work for you because you're always willing to work for them. And again, it's just that same idea from step 1. It's the reciprocity. Ask what you can do for them, and then they will reciprocate. Okay? But make sure that you stop by each of your team members' stations or wherever they're at, and just ask them how they're doing. Ask them what you can do to help. Ask them what they've got planned for the day. Now, this is the accountability part where you can say, hey, what are your plans for today? And then they have to regurgitate to you what they've actually planned out for their day, what projects they're working on, what's their time management system look like. And then that's giving you an opportunity to give them constructive criticism, say, hey, maybe you should do this, this, and this in this order, and then your day will be more productive. And then ultimately, if you ever met with complaints, just say, hey, I'm only asking you to do these things because I want you to be successful here. I would never ask you to do something just to keep you busy. And hopefully that's the system that you've got set up where you're at. Busy work is not productivity. Don't mistake activity for productivity, as they say. So that's basically step 2. Make sure that you talk to them before they leave or before you leave as well. Just say, hey, have a good night. Did you need me to help you out with anything before I step out? I'll talk to you tomorrow. That's going to be part of the relationship building. Okay? Step 3, set up weekly performance reviews with each of your team members. Now, if you have a really large team, you might have to do this on a monthly or quarterly basis, but setting up regular performance reviews is going to help you, one, again, build the relationship with those people and establish communication, bridges of communication, as well as, be able to see, okay, what are the issues? How come last week your performance was, 20% decreased or 50% decreased, or maybe you hit 0, maybe they had a crappy week, maybe something bad happened to their personal life. You don't know these things. This is just what's reflected in their work. But if you can get in their heads in a good sense and be a mentor to them and a leader to them and say, hey, what can I help you out with? What's going on here? Why was last week, not such a good week in terms of performance? And you come at it from an area of concern, they're going to be much more likely to start delivering higher levels of performance for you versus if you come in and say, what the heck, this isn't up to standard, I'm very upset about this, corporate's barking up my tree about this, you got to fix this problem. They're not going to be inclined to develop a relationship with you or be very positively oriented or focused towards developing or elevating their performance. Come from an area of concern, show them that you care, do those weekly, monthly, or quarterly performance reviews, and that'll help, again, with accountability, building the relationship, and ultimately elevating performance. Okay? The next tip, educate your team on a regular basis. I like to do this at least once a week. Whether this is through an email, a conference call, again, in your morning routine when you're walking by their office, you just give them a quick tip for the day. Hey, here's a thought, a quote. I don't care what it is, but something that's motivational, inspirational, or educational. Okay? I'm a firm believer in continued education, and most people's licenses and certifications and things out there that they have as part of their profession or why they're in their profession has to have continuing education. So you might as well stimulate other people's minds in terms of continued growth and development by educating them on one quick thing every day. One topic a day is 365 new things that you've learned in a year. It's not that hard to do. I do it every day, whether I'm doing research on the computer about fitness or a particular concept. I'll look up specific things about how hormones affect your physiology in terms of nutrition or in lines with your workouts. I'll choose something I don't know very much about, but that's related to my field, and I'll educate myself further on it. And it only takes a few minutes a day. Do that in the morning, print out an article, run it by everybody's office, or email it, or forward it out, and just say, hey everybody, check this out. Here's a training topic for you. It's going to help you in this, and this area, and give me your feedback on that, or report back to me your thoughts. That way, they're accountable to reading it because you know who sent you your responses and who didn't. But it doesn't take a whole lot of your time, and it continues their brains to be stimulated, thinking creatively, innovatively, and continuing to get educated. Okay? The last step I want to talk about is caring about your clients. Now, we've already kind of touched upon this in the first few steps, but truly, if you focus on developing a relationship, a professional relationship with your team members, caring about them as a person, and not caring about the numbers or the performance or the revenue, I guarantee you're going to see a different kind of work ethic out of them that's going to be more engaged in their work. It's going to be more positively oriented rather than, avoiding the whip of corporate or, you coming down on them hard, for not reaching their goals and stuff. And you're going to see that performance that you want to see anyway. If you focus on developing these relationships, you show your employees or your team members that you care about them and you say, hey, look, I just want you to succeed, okay? Yes, I'm dependent on your success as well, but I care about you as an individual. I want to see you succeed. I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to have poor reviews. I don't want to get mad at you. It would make my job easier if everybody just performed well, and then you guys wouldn't have me barking up your tree. This way, people can see that you're coming from a place of empathy and that you really do care about them. And that's going to show sincerity, it's going to show truth and integrity in your character, and it's only going to make them want to work for you harder or smarter or better. So, that's the last tip, is just caring about your your team members more than their performance, and you'll get the performance out of it. So, basically, those are my tips that I implement regularly with my teams and when I'm in a leadership position. I hope these things have helped out with you. Start implementing them today. Please leave your comments below. I always love to get feedback. You can email me directly if you like. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my newsletter and receive your free personal success kit, please do so by visiting taylorempey.com, and you can subscribe there. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. Have a nice day.